You know I met you in the dark, it was a Saturday night. Remember seeing you just dancing in the middle of the crowd. There was something about you, cause you got stuck in my mind. Stuck in my mind, stuck in my mind. I thought I'd give it a go and I started talking to you. I don't know what I said, but the next thing I knew is that I held you in my arms and you asked what we should do. What should we do? What should we do? I said you can do what you want to with me, yeah, I won't mind. As long as you stay with me, I'm alright.
Hey everyone, before we start the Q&A, I wanted to thank you all for watching the content and being amazing people, especially all the people who have recently joined us because of the parody video. My name is Scorpio, and as you can see, I make MCTVs/MCRPs. GeminiZeri and I have created our own studio called Starfall Studios, and we can't wait to see what projects come from it. I know all the questions aren't going to be answered in this video since I don't want to drag the video on for too long, but thank you all for asking these great questions. If there are still questions you'd like me to answer, please comment them down below and I'll try my best to get the answers to you. Now, let us begin. What/who inspired you to make roleplays? I think we all know that answer. Creators like AFMAO, Aviator Gaming, It's QnA, and other MCRP content creators were the reason why I loved the genre in the first place. Ever since I have always wanted to make one or be in one, and thanks to Gemini, that was all possible. What mods do we use for the channel? Our biggest mod that we use on the channel is Blockbuster mod. This mod allows for 3D models to be implemented in the game, like my horns, my animated tail, HD skins, and allows us to do expression changes and move our arms around in the videos seamlessly. Other mods like Mr. Crayfish Furniture Mod, Minturia, Decocraft allows us to put furniture in our builds to make things look cooler in our sets. Chisel and Bit also allows us to have smaller and finer details in our builds that you normally not see in vanilla Minecraft. Will you continue Spellbound and make many seasons? Who knows, the future of Spellbound is solely dependent on you, the viewers. Right now, we only have Season 2 thought up with some loose strings so far. We've talked about potentially having certain characters have an adult life, but nothing's truly confirmed. Hex Hollows, which is our biggest series, does have multiple seasons planned out for it, but again, it's all up to you guys and how much you want more of this content. So please watch, share, and like the videos. What's your inspiration to continue storytelling? Do you ever get burned out? I take inspiration from multiple things like music, TV shows I watch, and movies. For example, I was very inspired to do multiverse stories because of the Loki series, which is where I got the idea of the time god, different universes interacting with each other, and the negative effects that it has on the multiverse. As for burnout, I normally get burned out when a story I created isn't going to how I planned it to be. For instance, Disillusioned, the new chapter, was great by itself, but the writing was kind of messy and sloppy, and I honestly didn't know how to connect everything together well. So, which is why we kind of remade it into Hex Hollows. And honestly, I'm more happier with the story and how it's going out. Will you make more gameplay or let's play videos in the future? For minigame videos, yes. When it comes to survival let's plays, I kind of get a little bored making them, but if there's a demand for it, I think we can work something out. Can you make a website or community post or something with the lore of your RPs, such as OC info, species, how magic works, and the history of the town and such? Actually, Amy and Viking are currently reworking the wiki fandom right now with all the info on the channel, series, and timelines. If there is something I need to add into that, then I will do so myself. I will also leave the link to that in the description below. What series has been the most challenging to produce? That would have to be Hex Hollows, but that's only because I need to make sure the lore makes sense and connects back to whatever has been said in the past. But other than that, it's pretty smooth sailing for other series. Why didn't you continue Bloodlust? Bloodlust was cancelled as Gemini was the main writer for the series. He wasn't happy with how the series was going and ultimately pulled the plug on it. This is why we kind of joke about why the series was a cringy TV show in the Hex Hollows universe. But I see there's a demand for a vampire series, so anything can happen. Are there any old series you would like to bring back/redo? I would love to redo Multiverse Valley at some point. There's many things I wish we could have done with the iteration that we have, like 3D animation, explore their worlds in the multiverse, and build stronger stories on that, but we were kind of limited on the things we could use, like builds, and that really matched the style that we wanted. Good builds aren't free and cost a bit, which is why watching the videos and buying merch too helps us pay for builders and get huge sets. Oh, and Afterlife too, but who knows? How big is the Starfall timeline gonna get? Is it gonna keep going for however long you have ideas for it, or do you exactly know where you want to end the timeline? The Starfall timeline will only get bigger from here on out. I already thought of how I wanted it to end for a while. The stuff in the middle to lead up to that end is what we have many ideas for, and of course, like the beginning, Hunter and Prey, which has been delayed for a little, and hopefully we could get a 3D animation for that sooner or later. Which continues on to the next question. How did you come up with the Starfall timeline? Did you improvise, or did you plan the whole thing from the start? When we created the Starfall timeline, I wanted to use bits and pieces of Gemini's old lore from his channel before he transferred ownership to me. Of course, quite a few things were changed as we fleshed out the story more, like the opal scene in Hex Hollows, which had a completely different story to what it is now. As we built the lore on the universe, we started to get more ideas and everything started to click in place. We once had a whole conversation that lasted more than an hour about everything we want to do, so kinda half and half. Are you planning or ever thinking about collaborating with other creators or doing a crossover? Collaborations probably won't happen. It's not to say that it won't happen, but it would have to make sense with the content that I make on the channel. So those kinds of things would kind of be exclusive to a certain degree. Will there be a season 2 for Multiverse Valley? As long as there's a story I can flesh out, then sure. At the moment, there are no plans for any kind of season 2. Who's your favorite character within any series you created? Why? I know this answer seems a little biased, but it really is Holden. Without saying too much, his history and his character as a whole is really important to the overall story in Starfall. What's your favorite type of theme when it comes to these roleplays? My favorite theme would have to be fantasy with some supernatural elements. You can do anything when it comes to fantasy, like cast species like werewolves or NECAs. You can also have magical purple opals that have important story purposes. You can even do clone storylines too. This is why a lot of the content on the channel revolves around it. Alright, time for the final question. Do you ever plan on doing this full time? If so, would you register it as a business? I would love to do YouTube for full time, and many others would love to do that too. Like I said countless times, this is why liking, commenting, buying merch, and sharing the videos is important to us. This is how we can start paying VAs, builders, animators, and get body actors so we can push out videos more than once a week on Saturdays. But anyways, yes, I would register it as a business if the opportunity comes. Thank you all for your amazing questions you had for me. I appreciate the support and can't wait for what the future has in store for us. Like I said before, please leave any questions below and I will try to get them as soon as possible. Stay awesome and see you all later.
I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down, feel alive.